Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc.
An elected Haitian senator admits his role in an international narcotics scheme. That's our top story in Caribbean Newsline for Tuesday, April 25. From the CMC News Center in Bridgetown, I'm Nicole Best. Good evening. Former rebel leader Guy Philippe, who was elected to the Haitian Senate last November, has pleaded guilty in the U.S. to a money laundering conspiracy charge connected to an international narcotics scheme. The 49-year-old former senior police officer appeared in court in Florida on Monday and admitted to one count of conspiracy to commit money laundering. He is scheduled to be sentenced on July 5. The charge against him stemmed from the proceeds of narcotic sales back in the late 1990s and early 2000. According to admissions made in connection with the plea deal, which he struck with U.S. prosecutors, Philippe used his position as a high-ranking Haitian national police officer to provide protection for the shipments of drugs and drug proceeds arriving into Haiti in exchange for cash payments. Philippe admitted that from about June 1999 to April 2003, he was on the payroll of drug traffickers and received between 1.5 and 3.5 million US dollars in bribe payments for protecting the drug shipments. He also admitted that he shared some of that money with Haitian national police officials and other security personnel to ensure their continued support for future drug shipments arriving in Haiti. Philippe, who was indicted on charges in the U.S. since 2005 but managed to avoid arrest, was finally arrested in January this year in Port-au-Prince. He was immediately extradited to the United States to face the court. Philippe had initially insisted that he had done nothing wrong. Damage caused by flood waters that swept through parts of Jamaica following heavy rains over the weekend has been estimated at $352 million. The outcome of the initial assessment was disclosed on Tuesday in the House of Representatives by Minister of Local Government and Community Development Desmond McKenzie. He said the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management ODPEM reported that flooding affected residents in 11 communities in the parishes of Clarendon, St. Thomas, Portland, St. Mary, St. Elizabeth, St. James, and St. Catherine. McKenzie also revealed that Cabinet has given approval for relief efforts to be intensified in St. Thomas and Clarendon, and he said assessments are being done to ensure that relief efforts are directed towards those who were actually affected by the flooding. The Ministry of Health will also be moving to avoid the spread of mosquito or waterborne disease as the flood waters subside. TVJ's Herman Green reports on the damage done by the flood waters.
2 days of rain, flooding in several parishes, waters over 6 feet high in some areas. On Monday, most of the water had receded, and so the National Works Agency, NWA, says it's putting together an estimate of the damage for the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. So far, the extent of the damage has raised questions about drain cleaning in some areas, especially in Clarendon.
Particularly disturbing in view of the amounts that we have heard that have been spent on drain cleaning in this parish. I think there was payments of $17 million just last week. We understand that in addition to the $800 million spent in November.
However, the government is insisting that the flooding was unavoidable. The Met Service said the volume of rain which affected parts of the island in the last 4 days was 4 times the average rainfall recorded for the month of April for the past 30 years. But does this mean the NWA should start restructuring drains across the island?
I don't know anywhere in the world where this is done. what we certainly try to do is to design based on normal flows, and of course recognizing that there are going to be abnormal flows, and you take that into consideration when you're putting in the drainage systems.
In addition to infrastructural damage, the agriculture sector is also hard hit.
The preliminary reports are really coming more out of Clarendon, some livestock loss and vegetables. We are assessing in St. Thomas, Portland, and some areas in St. Andrew the impact on coffee, because in particular at this time you would have ripe cherry berries on the trees. But while we think that has been some impact in those parishes with coffee, we can't place a number on it yet.
Meanwhile, the opposition People's National Party's spokesman on local government and MP for Clarendon Southwestern, Noel Ascott, is calling for a fast tracking of the building bill, which he said would have addressed many of the infrastructural issues which led to flooding in Clarendon. Another leak from a tank at Trinidad's oil company has resulted in a significant amount of oil spilling into the sea. Petrotrin has estimated that about 20 barrels of oil had leaked out, but there are suggestions that it could have been more. We get more from CNC3's Cindy Raghubar Tikasing.
Another blow to the environment by bunker fuel, with birds, fish and mangroves facing the effects of spilled oil. For yet another time, state-owned refinery Petrotrin recorded a fuel leakage sometime on Sunday. A release sent overnight stated a leak at one of Petrotrin's Pointe-à-Pitre storage tanks led to emergency responses being activated. At 8 p.m., they estimated, quote, some 20 barrels of fuel oil would have escaped the company's containment, end quote. Booms have been strategically placed at the opening of the Pointe-à-Pitre River. Where thick oil was not seen, a sheen blanketed miles of water. One fisherman estimates about 5 miles of sea surrounding the jetty was affected. He says if after a day so much oil can still be seen so close to the point of release, the quantity could easily be much greater. And for what we could see above the water, it was a tragic scene to see affected animals flutter to safety. We've already seen more than a dozen pelicans drenched in oil seeking refuge within the mangrove, some of them unable to fly. Up to news time, Petrotrin's communications department did not answer our calls and no updates could be given on the amount of oil leaked.
U.S. investigators have completed their probe into a deadly explosion at a quarry in St. Lucia last month that claimed the lives of 4 people. And National Security Minister Hermangild Francis says the 11 investigators are in the process of preparing a report to be submitted to the police and the Director of Public Prosecutions. He says they will provide recommendations for actions that should be taken. The explosion occurred on March 21 at the Renault Quarries in Cul-de-sac as workers were doing some welding on top of a container containing dynamite. Last week, one of the 4 critically injured patients flown to the neighboring French island of Martinique for treatment after the explosion died as a result of his injuries. In Guyana, former Attorney General Anil Nandlal is being questioned by agents of the Special Organized Crime Unit SOCU about missing law books. He was not arrested, but was invited to discuss to SOCU's headquarters, to provide clarification on some issues related to the law books and their removal from the Ministry of Legal Affairs during his time as Attorney General in the last administration. Nandlal maintains that he has done nothing wrong. He says before he took office, he had subscribed to the Commonwealth law reports, and as a condition of his acceptance of the post of Attorney General, the government had to bear the cost for the purchase of the books. He said the president at the time, Donald Ramotar, had agreed to the arrangement. Royston Drakes of Capital News tells us more.
Former Attorney General Anil Nandlal appeared at the Special Organized Crime Unit at court as a probe into his acquisition of the law books he has in his possession, which are said to be the property of the state, caught on the way. This news house understands that former President Donald Ramotar will also be questioned about the books. Nandlal said he has done nothing wrong and the law books do not belong to the state.
Did you believe did anything wrong?
Obviously not.
You believe this is some level of victimization?
The witch hunting continues. The details of which I'll disclose when we meet at Freedom House. This is a transaction that has nothing to do with allegation into wrongdoing. It has to do with persecuting me for what I am doing as an opposition politician. If I was quiet and I had gone back quietly to private practice and I was not doing what I'm doing, this would not have been an issue.
He believes because of his outspokenness, he was subjected to this probe. The former Attorney General said the books were part of his contract to serve he had with the then PPP government.
It doesn't belong to the state. It was part of my contract for service the same way that my phone bills were paid for, my light bills were paid for, and that these are facilities that are extended to all ministers. Many other ministers had different journals to which they subscribed, and that was not an issue. In fact, when I did a handing over with the Attorney General, who informed him about this arrangement. He didn't know about it, and he told me that he's sorry that he didn't have books to which he was subscribing so that he can utilize the same facility. And in fact, when this thing started, it didn't start, it had nothing to do with me. It had to do with him wanting to remove the PS.
Nandalal and Williams have been at odds recently over a number of issues, the most recent being the law books, which ended with the former Attorney General suing the current Attorney General for defamation of his character.
And still to come in Caribbean Newsline, hundreds of Cubans who were stranded in Guyana start to make their way back home. Stay with us. There's more news after the break. Chat in CARICOM, a four-part series on the status of the regional integration process, beginning Tuesday, April 25th at 8 p.m. live on Carib Vision. Chat in CARICOM is your chance to get answers to questions about the integration process and how it affects you. Education, business, travel, entertainment. The series gives updates on recent CARICOM projects and assistance given by the European Union. Join the Caribbean community CARICOM and Carib Vision for the first Chat in CARICOM, Tuesday, April 25th at 8 p.m. The series comes to you with the assistance of the European Union. Chat in CARICOM, a community for all.
Picture this. Get away to one of the world's most beautiful islands. To experience the Digicel Barbados Reggae Festival 2017. 4 of the biggest reggae events. April 23rd to April 30th. Featuring the biggest names in reggae. Popcon. Sprague Benz. Sanchez. Marcia Griffiths. Capleton. Conscience. Ventures. Flower Gone. Glen Washington. Cocoa Tea. Won't you go home to your mama? And many more. Purchase your event tickets from ticketpal.com. For more details, follow Barbados Reggae Festival on Facebook or Instagram. Barbados, always on.
Don't worry, I'll help.
In average, your kids grow 2 centimeters and gain 1.5 pounds every 120 days. But more than 50% leave food that helps them to grow. Pediasure is the only nutritional supplement with 25 essential vitamins and minerals clinically proven that gives them a complete and balanced nutrition to help kids grow. What are you waiting for? Give them Pediasure today to support their healthy growth.
Welcome back. Hundreds of Cuban nationals stranded in Guyana over the past few days began leaving the country on Tuesday after authorities granted the Honduras-based airline Easy Sky temporary permission to fly into the Chedijagan International Airport. The Cubans could not leave before as a result of a decision by the Guyana Civil Aviation Authority to suspend the airline's operations last Thursday evening. Director General of the Civil Aviation Authority, Egbert Field, says the decision was taken because of several safety concerns. He said the weight and balance of the aircraft appeared to be in question, and that could have serious safety repercussions. It is suspected that the airline may have been allowing the overload of the plane for the flights to Cuba via Honduras. The first round of the French presidential election, and we're moving on now to another story. The first round of the presidential elections, that's the French presidential elections in the overseas territories of Martinique, Guadeloupe and French Guiana took place on Sunday. And as in metropolitan France, the historic parties right and left suffered a big defeat as well as a breakthrough for the National Front. We get more in this special report from our partners at France Caraïbes Broadcast.
Emmanuel Macron qualified for the second round. The global trend of the overseas regions is confirmed. The leader of the movement En Marche won the most votes, just behind Marine Le Pen. At 8 p.m. in Paris, 2 p.m. in Martinique, the difference of voters between the two is very thin, and the representative of the government is already calling to bar the road of the National Front. In Martinique, the disappointment was great for the activists of Jean-Luc Mélenchon du mouvement La France Insoumise, who arrived at the top of the first round in our island, but disqualified from the second round at the national level. The supporters of Emmanuel Macron, as for them, jubilated to the announcement of the results. It's 8 p.m. in France, 2 p.m. in Martinique, and this time the polls were not mistaken and confirmed the trend of overseas. In the headquarters of the candidate of En Marche, it's the explosion of joy. It's great, France on the move is something. We have an opponent dreamed of for this final, the obscurantism. We are the light, she's obscurantism, so now we are even more motivated, especially in Martinique, to do another 2 weeks extraordinary. It's an event. Surprise, no. Event, yes, because I think this really an important political change will happen in our country. The first estimates give Emmanuel Macron winner of this first round with 23 of the votes against 22 for Marine Le Pen of the National Front. A first victory for the activists of En Marche, waiting to convince the voters to try to win the second round.
D'abord, qu'ici à la Martinique, bien qu'elle ait
here in Martinique, also it has improved very strongly its score. Marine Le Pen remains confined to less than 11%. We know that the representatives of the other candidates will call to vote Emmanuel Macron. They have, in my opinion, the sense of the reality, the sense of democracy, and we expect them to make a big effort from this point of view.
Et nous attendons d'eux un fort effort de ce point de vue-là.
On the side of the headquarters of Jean-Luc Mélenchon, it's disappointment. With 19 of the votes, the candidate arrived at the head in Martinique would be eliminated at the national level.
Comme je ne crois ni aux sondages et que je ne commente pas les estimations, j'attends quand même
As I do not believe in polls and I do not comment on the estimates, I still wait for the final results. I do not despair that we are in the second round, by what for now only a few votes have arrived. We are confident. In Martinique, we were completely unknown, and at the last news, we would have left first, so we have good hope.
And we thank our partners at France Caraïbes Broadcast for this week's submission. We encourage you to join us weekly for news from the French West Indies. And ahead in Newsline Sport, CONCACAF is suing its former boss, Trinidadian Jack Warner, and General Secretary Chuck Blazer. Sport is next. Do stay with us.
Dominica, a true fantasy island. Whether you're in search of extreme adventure or a family vacation or a relaxing getaway, Dominica is fun for everyone. And a place where you can totally disconnect and enjoy paradise. Discover Dominica, the nature island.
In a place where legends start, the beach is just the beginning. So live a little for the exhilaration and the color of every moment, where time is and life is a spirited event. Immerse yourself in the culture, the music, the people, the island. Love Antigua and Barbuda. Embrace and experience that leaves you breathless, from cricket to sailing week to carnival and more. Antigua and Barbuda, the beach is just the beginning.
The most anticipated musical experience returns. Join us throughout beautiful Tobago as we celebrate the universal language with performances by Grammy Award winner D'Angelo, legendary singer Grace Jones, Shabba Ranks, Morgan Heritage, Ellen Trotman Hess the Band, and many more. The 2017 Tobago Jazz Experience, April 22nd to 30th.
We begin our Tuesday sports segment with news about legal action by the Hemisphere's football governing body, CONCACAF. It's suing former boss Trinidadian Jack Warner and General Secretary Charles Chuck Blazer over bribes. In the latest lawsuit surrounding the former football executives, CONCACAF has accused them of accepting millions of dollars in bribes from companies and foreign governments in exchange for votes and broadcasting rights in major international soccer tournaments. The football body said in a statement that there is no doubt that Warner and Blazer victimized CONCACAF, stealing and defrauding it out of tens of millions of dollars in brazen acts of corruption for their personal benefit at the expense of the entire CONCACAF region. The lawsuit has been filed in a New York federal court. Timid West Indies failed to survive the anticipated final day onslaught from Pakistan and slumped to a 7-wicket defeat in the opening test at Sabina Park on Tuesday. Resuming their second innings on 93-for-4, the hosts suspect batting once again stayed true to form. They collapsed to 152 all out 37 minutes before the scheduled lunch interval. Leg spinner Yashir Shah added 2 wickets to his overnight tally to finish with 6 for 63. Debutant seamer Mohammad Abbas ended with 2 for 35.
Bishu was out there for a very long time. He got beaten quite consistently, but didn't throw in the towel. Marane bowled a good channel, bowled with goodish pace. But Yasir Shah was always going to be a real threat, and Bishu was determined not to play the big shot. He was out there with the debutant Singh until this happened. Remarkable angle to castle the batsman. Bishu with a straight hit over mid-on for a 4. Then a cut shot. Chase was looking pretty solid and at ease. Bishu then playing at a delivery outside the off-stump. Mohammad Abbas was brought into the attack and Yunus Khan picking up a catch. And Darwich was gone off the first ball of his innings. Leg before wicket to the debutant.
Holder, as always, pleasing through the offside. And it looked at that stage that these two were just getting comfortable. A fantastic shot straight down the ground. Wahab was brought into the attack to reverse swing, and he did exactly that. A poor shot from Holder, but just the wicket Pakistan needed to get into the tail. Yasir Shah then, ex-spinner, polished things off. Gabriel with a hoik, which went straight up. That meant that Pakistan had bowled West Indies out, and Yasir Shah had taken 6.
And although Shannon Gabriel, the under-19 star Alzari Joseph and Devendra Bishu picked up consolation wickets, Pakistan was in cruise mode to reach the target. The captain remained unbeaten on 12, while Babar Azam remained not out on 9 from 22 balls. Well, after the match, Windies captain Jason Holder lamented the side's batting performance.
First innings, we lost wickets early up, and then we had to consolidate. Never really got that partnership going in the middle. Credit must go to Shane Darrich and Roston Chase. They really batted. I came down the end and tried to, wag the tail a little bit. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. We needed to get in excess of 300 runs, but we didn't.
And despite the rain interruption which affected the condition of the pitch, Pakistan captain Misbah-ul-Haq said the 400-plus runs they made in the first innings were enough to keep his men on top.
That was the idea. I mean, tricky weather, first day, winning the toss, bowling. That was on the cards. The first 3 days would be really bad with the batters, so it was only one chance to get them out quickly and then play one good inning. Otherwise, it wasn't possible because we know that it's going to be tough batting on the 5th day. And I think bowlers did very well, especially in the first inning. Amir, his spell was crucial, and in the second inning, again, Amir and Yasir, especially Yasir. I mean, that was wonderful spell. I mean, on this pitch, still a pretty much battable pitch, but 6 in no time, that was the game changer.
The second test bowls off at Kensington Oval on Sunday. Well, we're still talking cricket, and Barbados and Windward Islands remained unbeaten as they pulled off contrasting wins in the third round of the Women's Regional Super 50 on Monday. Playing at Park Hill, Barbados defeated Guyana by 41 runs, while at Sion Hill, the Windwards managed to sneak past the luckless Jamaica by 2 wickets, courtesy of a fine all-round performance from West Indies player Afi Fletcher. Barbados tallied the highest score of the day, posting 145 all out of 43.3 overs after they were sent in by the Guyanese. Deandra Doughton top scored with 47 from 85 balls, while Shakira Selman struck 30 not out and teenage opener Hayley Matthews 20. Experienced West Indies woman seamer Tremaine Smart was the best bowler with 3 for 15. In their turn at the crease, Guyana could only muster 104 of 39.4 overs, with Windies player Shemaine Campbell top scoring with 25. West Indies' Shamelia Connell was at her best, claiming 4 for 16, while Alia Aline chipped in with 3 for 13. And that's the sport. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc.
If you like dancing and whining and fretting till the morning, if you like drinking, masquerading, live music always playing, if you like islands of blue seas where people always smiling, if you like street jams and bandstands where people will be jamming, don't you miss this time, no. In this country, I'm a 43. Our festival, our legacy.
Picture this. Get away to one of the world's most beautiful islands to experience the Digicel Barbados Reggae Festival 2017. 4 of the biggest reggae events. April 23rd to April 30th. Featuring the biggest names in reggae. Popcon, Sprague Benz, Sanchez, Marcia Griffiths, Capleton, Conscience, Ventures, Flower Gun, Glen Washington, Cocoa Tea, and many more. Purchase your event tickets from ticketpal.com. For more details, follow Barbados Reggae Festival on Facebook or Instagram. Barbados, always on.
Chat in CARICOM, a 4-part series on the status of the regional integration process, beginning Tuesday, April 25th at 8 p.m. live on Carib Vision. Chat in CARICOM is your chance to get answers to questions about the integration process and how it affects you. Education, business, travel, entertainment. The series gives updates on recent CARICOM projects and assistance given by the European Union. Join the Caribbean community CARICOM and Carib Vision for the first Chat in CARICOM, Tuesday, April 25th at 8 p.m. The series comes to you with the assistance of the European Union. Chat in CARICOM, a community for all.
We vow to join hands and to
And we take this opportunity to invite you to join us live at 8 o'clock tonight for the first in the 4-part series, Chat in CARICOM. Chat in CARICOM is your chance to get answers to questions about the regional integration process and how it affects you. The program will be broadcast right here on Carib Vision, and it will be live streamed on our Carib Vision and CMC Facebook pages, as well as on caricom.org. Be part of the process, the integration process. Chat in CARICOM, 8 o'clock tonight. See you then.